Hi everyone, my name is Riya Elizabeth, and today I'll be presenting my observational study on the difference in the number of times people check their phones based on gender. In our digital age, it is no secret that many of us check our phones very frequently. But does gender play a role in this behavior? And what role does social context, whether we're alone or with someone, play in this behavior? I would like to explore these questions by observing real-world interaction. To observe this behavior, I conducted my study in the cafeteria of Latona University. Over the course of 2.5 hours, I observed 15 individuals, 7 males and 8 females, both alone and with someone. For each participant, I recorded how many times they checked their phone and the amount of time they spent on their phone each time they looked at it. I focused on two main factors: gender, whether the individual was male or female, and whether they were alone or with someone else. I noted every time a participant looked at their phone and the time they spent interacting with it. I then compared the data between males and females, as well as between those who are alone versus those who are with someone. After collecting the data, I analyzed the results and compared the average number of phone checks and time spent on the phone for each group. Here are the results for the number of phone checks. On average, males check their phones 3.4 times, while females check their phones 4.8 times. This suggests that females tend to check their phones more frequently than males. As for the time spent on the phone, both genders spend an average of around 10 to 15 seconds each time they check their phones. Interestingly, there was no major difference in the time spent on the phone between males and females. However, the overall frequency of phone checking was noticeably higher in females. Next, I compared the results based on whether the individual was alone or with someone. In general, both males and females checked their phones more frequently when they were alone, but the difference wasn't drastic. The average number of phone checks was 4.6 for individuals who were alone versus 3.9 for those who were with someone. So, what do these findings mean? Well, the results seem to suggest that in public settings, females check their phones more frequently than males, but both genders spend a similar amount of time per check. It could be that females are more likely to respond to notifications, check social media, or feel the need to stay connected. However, the time spent looking at the phone does not seem to be influenced by gender as much as the frequency of checking. In terms of social context, I found that people check their phones more often when they're alone. This could be because they do not have to worry about distractions or appearing disengaged from the conversation. However, the difference wasn't as large as I initially expected, suggesting that people still check their phones frequently, regardless of whether they're with someone or not. To summarize, it appears that females check their phones more frequently than males, but there's not a huge difference in the amount of time spent per check. Additionally, people tend to check their phones more often when they're alone, but this behavior is still common in social settings. For future research, it would be interesting to look at how age or the type of phone usage, for example texting versus browsing social media, influences these behaviors. It could also be helpful to observe different environments like work settings versus casual ones to see how context further affects phone checking habits.